it's like super insane to me that Kamen Rider Outsiders started out with this, and now we are here. What the fuck?
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Are you curious where you can watch the latest episode of Kamen Rider and Sentai every week? Well, since there is no official release, you might have to resort to alternative methods. Personally, when I search for website to watch tokusatsu, my top priority is to safeguard my personal data. That's why I rely on SurfsharkVPN, the sponsor of today's video. With Surfshark, your online safety and privacy is paramount, as it is effective at concealing your online activities through its VPN capabilities. By encrypting your internet traffic that nobody can pry into your online endeavors or track your digital whereabouts. Additionally, Surfshark enables you to virtually explore the world with a tap, thanks to its ability to change your VPN address. By switching your location to anywhere in America, let's say, you can access at least over 10 Ultraman shows and movies, or explore other toku shows available on Tokushoutsu. You can poke around at the Japanese premium Bandai page and discover a captivating array of expensive children's toys. I highly recommend getting Surfshark VPN today, as it comes with an extra 3 months. Simply click the link in the description, and if you are unsatisfied, rest assured there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So why wait any longer? Take advantage of this fantastic offer and sign up now. It's an incredible opportunity for all of you, my fellow tokusatsu fans. Here is some background about all of my exposure of any outsider content. It was purely through Twitter. But now with Rider, Sentai, and Ultra taking a week off, along with me taking a week off of any Legacy of Ultraman content, I decided, after hearing a lot of great stuff about it, to just binge everything from Genms The Presidents to 1000% Crisis to all 5 episodes of Outsiders, and for 3 projects that were filmed in completely different times, it weirdly felt coherent. And it's even stranger that all of this started out as a semi-meaningless crossover special between 2 characters from, at the time, Yuya Takahashi's only works in Kamen Rider, being Genms The President, which, in a nutshell, Kuroto-dan has returned, but now as a Buckster. I don't know how he did that, but he did, infecting Guy, with the purpose of killing him and taking over his company. Behind Kuroto's tail is Masamune-den, Kuroto's dad, has also infected Guy just to get out and try to kill his son. It's a very X8 thing, and I love it. Kuroto defeats Guy, but Masamune reveals himself, and Masamune and Kuroto fight until Guy understands what it's mean to be a president, and it's about love, and he overcomes the infection, and Masamune understands that too, and he hugs Kuroto, and they disappear to a heart-shaped cloud. As like a standalone mini-movie that splits down to 2 halves, I would say it was really fun. But again, I would say it maybe 1,000 more times. This being the beginning of Outsiders, it's the strangest thing possible. It just felt like, oh, we have those 2 actors on the roll, like we are maybe still in the midst of the pandemic. Yeah, they were. So it's like, okay, let's just do that. And they just did it. And we never thought that this mini special would turn out to one of the most interesting and captivating things in Kamen Rider. But between Genms The Presidents and Outsiders, there was another special, and that sequel came a year later, being 1000 Crisis with Smart Brain, being pretty much the second round between Guy and Kuroto, setting up the looming threat of the new AI Zein that wants to eliminate all malice, but with his path of eliminating all malice to protect mankind, in the end he's going to destroy it. After hearing it from Arc, which is a really cool thing, Guy decides to revive Kuroto as a Yume gear. For fuck's sake, like, how many times Kuroto has been like dead and came back? Like, can we have like an official counter? Please, there has to be an official counter. The problem that came up when Guy revived Kuroto as a Yume gear is pretty much Kuroto doesn't really want to work for him, and he just kind of runs off. It was kind of funny seeing him just searching for a charger and just dying with a picture of his dad. First of all, shows character progression, but also it was hilarious. But a bit later, Guy's assistant save him, and Guy comes into him with a proposition to work together to beat Zein. But the problem is, Kuroto still doesn't want to do it. So pretty much they decide to fight. If Guy wins, Kuroto and Guy would work together. And if Kuroto wins, Kuroto gets Guy's company. And they fight, and after Kuroto gets a new form alongside Thousers' new form, Kuroto beats Guy and gets the assets to his company and the company in large. And when Kuroto enters his new office, a smart brain employee, aka Smart Queen, watches over him. This was actually like a great setup to Outsiders, pretty much building up the looming threat of Zein and its motive of apparatus, and why Guy would want to revive Kuroto. Not only that, having Arc as some sort of a good guy, in like the broadest of terms, is really interesting. While these specials started a theme that Outsiders would continue and people would actually like really like it, and that is giving Thouser and Genm complete new forms. We don't really count Black Thouser because that was just what? Kamen Rider Zai's suit, because they clearly painted the original black, so they're kind of like, okay, you just have it. Let's just invent a stupid reason why it's black. No one would know. With Arc Thouser, well, it's just the Arc 1 suit pretty much from the neck down, and Kamen Rider Zai's helmet with just white bits in the middle. Hey, it looked cool, it looked really cool, while Genm's Muso Gamer looks amazing. It's literally Genm's equivalent to Hyper Muteki with the long flowing hair, the very kind of starry kind of chest piece. All of it looks so cool. It's, in my opinion, the best suit out of X-Aid. I don't care. Genm somehow gets all of the best suits. Okay, not all of them. I still believe Braves and Laser and Snipe do get some cool suits. Well, Snipe like level 2 looks great, and from there on it's kind of iffy, but like it's way more Brave than anything else. And a couple of months after 1,000 Crises, and almost a full year after Presidents, Kamen Rider Outsiders came out. Due to the show being still ongoing, I would not be talking about it as in depth, but mainly the basis of the plot and what I like about it, and episode 0 because it was mainly this really great way to connect Outsiders to pretty much the Genm Thouser spin-off saga. The plot is really interesting, at least for the first half of the show, being a build-up to Zein's arrival, pretty much structuring the first quote-unquote 5 episodes around it, building almost Silver War-esque teams that have their own issues with each others, which is completely interesting. As I stated not that long ago, I really enjoyed how much the epilogue / episode 0 of the show fully ties in 1,000 Crises and Genms The Presidents to outsiders, with Smart Brain wanting Koroto's new Gashat. Mainly because it's really good and it's like have great RNG with scratchers? Like, I don't know what fully like the Gashat can do, but Smart Brain wants it, so it's probably like super powerful. The problem with Smart Brain, how much they bought a big stunk of shares in now Genms Muso. Kuroto objects to that, so he runs away and forgets to charge himself and dies out. But luckily, he was found by Mari. It's so cool! They actually got Mari's actress to not only reprise her role as Mari, but also to play this new Smart Queen character. Mari tells Kuroto pretty much everything about Smart Brain and the Orphanox, and she asks from him to, hey, can you defeat the Arc Orphanox for me? Kuroto says, okay, fine, but I'm not doing it for you, bitch. I'm doing it to protect my company. I ain't a hero, son. But before he can actually fight the Arc Orphanox, Kuroto fights Smart Queen. That transforms into Kamen Rider Delta, being the only time that Mari's actress actually got to transform, which is sad, but at least she got transformed into the coolest suit in the show. But Smart Queen gets her ass handed by the protagonist of Genms Muso. But before Kuroto can fight the king of the Orphanox, Guy stops him and tells both of them that, hey, we have this Zein problem here, we should work together. And like the Arc Orphanox says, hell nah, bro, I'm not working with humans. And like he ditches out, and Kuroto is like, you're a bitch, and he leaves, and the guy's just standing there, limp dick and all, just like, they would come back, right? And then he understands that they probably wouldn't, so he leaves too, leaving Mari alone, which we discovered that Hiromu Takahashi's character from like the Saber crossovers is also canon, and he's also a part of Foundation X, and he's a part of the leading team of Project Outsiders that wants to defeat Zein. What the fuck? This was the best way that Outsiders should begin, connecting it to something that already happened, a special that already was released, and kind of tell us to expect some interesting ideas, expect some returning actors, expect maybe, just maybe, get a little bit of fan service, but good one. Just expect to actually have fun. And from episode 1 on, each and every episode is semi-focused on a returning character from a past series. Episode 1 is focused mainly on a Sakura in a post-world reset where he's still a criminal but not a killer. It's a thing that the show kind of beats you over the head, but yeah, he's not a killer. He was contracted by a shady politician to rob a bank, but he gets backstabbed by the politician because he overstayed his welcome. That politician has the scissors deck, and after Sakura finally accepts Oden's second invitation to the Rider game, he comes in and pays a visit to the politician and stabbing him in the back. And from there on, Asakura just goes on a small rampage and becomes the final rider standing and fight Oden with his brand new Survive form and beats him and doesn't get his wish because an Insu the End takes Oden's deck and give it to a Foundation X member. I genuinely really like seeing this different side of a Sakura because like he's very much still like a criminal, but like he's kind of has some sort of honors and some sort of a moral code, and he's doing it to help his brother, which in the previous world he killed just for funsies. And it was really cool to not only just have some sort of a focus fully on him, but also Ouja finally got a Survive form, which like the suit doesn't really complement the suit actor. Like, I wish there was more armor. Like, I get it, that's most of the Ryuki riders kind of look, but it's just making the suit actor look bad. And it's like, it's the same suit actor for like Buster, and he didn't look that bad. So it's like, it's just the armor just making him look kind of funny. While episode 2 does a lot more with Ren than what Saber did, actually trying to show us his inferiority complex and actually like make it present to us as himself talking down to himself, which helps so well with Foundation X taking the Oden buckle and reviving Desast. Why the Oden buckle? Does the Oden buckle has that type of power? Like, I don't really remember a lot of Ryuki, and tell you the truth, I never really dove fully deep into like Ryuki lore. Maybe the Oden buckle has this power set, but also it's like, yo, you can probably defeat Zein with that. I think Oden is powerful enough, and the moment when Ren sees Desast, you can actually see like, oh my god, Ren is happy. Ren finally got his friend back, and you can clearly see they actually like formed the bond, and it's like, yo, why the fuck you didn't show it in Saber? Like, I'm not going to rant over Saber because this isn't the video, but Ren and Desast as characters could have gotten a lot more if they actually given them time, and none of us would have hated Ren for no apparent reason, in exception to the show sucked and couldn't juggle that many characters. But yeah, and also, this episode gave us the best suit in Saber, and that is Kamen Rider Desast. I don't care, I would fight everyone about it. This Kamen Rider Desast is the best suit in Saber. Tell the truth, it's 100% going to get repainted, isn't it? Like, Ren is totally going to get it. While on the other side, we finally got actual 2 Yuya Takahashi characters teaming up with Nico and the rebuild / revived Hirobi that ran off after he got revived by Foundation X. With those two starting to show us the team that sides with Zein. And that's pretty much it for both of them, because like Nico just came in like literally when the episode ended, and Hirobi was just there to pretty much fight Ren and fight Desast. Like, Hirobi didn't really do anything in that episode. It was way more about Desast and Ren, which I liked. And episode 3 and 4 mainly focused on Zein, with his debut fight happening in episode 3, while also showing us the user of Kamen Rider Zein, while episode 4 continued to show us that Zein isn't the benevolent riders that wants to eliminate all evil, but also seeing riders as a part of the malice. that the world and mankind suffer from. And it's really cool kind of like idea of like, oh, like we need to eliminate all evil. But like, oh, a part of that evil is not only the monsters and the evil riders, it's also like the good riders. So it's almost like a snake eating its tail, like it's a never-ending circle that Zein cannot actually like defeat without just breaking the entire circle and just destroying all the riders and going a little bit too extreme and destroying mankind. I absolutely loved the build-up in episode 3 to Zein's arrival. Like, we already knew that he's going to arrive with the title of the episode being The Birth of Kamen Rider Zein. That build-up was amazing, from like just showing us glimpses of the rider system, showing us the glimpses of the user, having George deliver the rider system to Nico was a great touch, and also shows how much this weird fused world is the most fucked up in the entirety of Tokusatsu. Are you telling me that the Genms Corporation, Smart Brain, and the devils from Revice are like in the same world? Like, are you kidding me? Like, living in that Japan is probably not fun. Wait a minute, I also forgot. Gitsy's world is semi a part of also Revice's world. Why people are still living in Japan? Why the hell this Japan is still populated? Just run off to any country. I don't know. And that fight between Zein and the newly revived Gold Drive, now Bronze Drive because there isn't any gold on it, which, tell the truth, if we should just kind of sprinkle a little like Bando like review on him, he was really fun and had like a lot more of a personality than like what I remember him from Drive. Like, he was actually like a memorable part of those two episodes, which I didn't expect, because like if you really think about it, he was like the least memorable villain in Drive. It's like, I remember the freeze roid mute than anything that Bando did. Like, I remember him like abusing Heart. That's it. Like, they actually got me to really remember Bando. I love it. And just that fight was so cool, seeing all of Zein's abilities, of just using past riders' abilities, was really cool. Except for that finisher. Bro just got stabbed with PNGs. I don't know why. And that reveal of Zein's user in episode 3 was so cool that like we got like build-ups and build-ups to who it is. And it's Sakurai Yuto. At first feels strange and it's like, oh, that's a bit of a letdown. But as episode 4 rolls around, we clearly can see it's a different type of Sakurai Yuto. That's not the same person that we watched in Den-O. And this is why I absolutely love it. Because to my understanding, he never became Xeranos. So he's completely a different person. A more selfish person. A person that wouldn't sacrifice himself for the sake of others. And I loved seeing how much Brain, which also returned, and it's really cool that his side special where he became a Kamen Rider is also like fully canon now, and it's just Brain is a Kamen Rider too. So pretty much Medic is the only one that haven't transformed into a rider yet. But I love the way that they kind of used Brain as like the person that slowly and slowly shows to Sakurai Yuto that, oh, that Zein isn't really the benevolent rider that wants to save everyone, because because to actually like fully make the Zein driver operational, they needed Nico's Kamen Rider Chronicle Gashat, and with it they could actually re-release the game, which they do, to actually like test it on humans and riders, no matter if they're good or bad. And this is going to be so interesting, specifically because the person that actually kind of activated that trigger, not only Zein, but also the newest president of board. And before I talk about the newest president, let me talk to you about Zein's presentation and how much it's fucking amazing. First of all, suit, godlike, absolutely looks like the complete opposite of Arc Zero. Like, straight up, seeing Zein fight Arc Zero feels almost like, oh yeah, they're meant to fight each other. And that transformation, like, sound is great, and the transformation itself is absolutely beautiful. Like, wow, they're like pulling all of their cash into it, and you can clearly see it's a labor of love. Even the D transformation looks amazing. Just everything that we get with Zein is like so creative and so different than what we got in a long time. It feels fresh, and it feels like the best thing that we had in years. And now to the newest president of board. Let me introduce them to you. It's Tachibana-san! Oh man, never thought I'm going to use this clip in like a span of like a month and a half. But hey, time is a flat circle. I don't know. Tachibana being the president of board is something that I don't get. Mainly because I didn't really got that deep into like Blades' kind of side content. So I thought he was dead because it made sense to me. He fell off that cliff. His life kind of like beeper went away. So did like someone just picked him up? Did he just like somehow woke up? Is this Tachibana not really Tachibana? But tell the truth, it just could be the real Tachibana and something happened between the finale of the show and Outsiders, and Outsiders didn't really care enough to tell me, which fine, it shouldn't. It should be kind of something that I should look forward to, but it could have been nice to maybe, you know, get a little hint. And when I came up with the idea that it could be not the real Tachibana, is the way Tachibana acted in this episode, because like it was super weird, because the way I remember him in Blade is, yeah, he's a bit of a douche, but like he's total good guy. Like, yeah, he has his problems and he has his mental issues because of the Garen buckle, but he's still kind of fighting for some sort of a sake of good. But he feels way more like a douche than any other way before, because he actually believed that like, oh yeah, I'll just let Zein destroy the entirety of humanity. I don't care. Zein is our salvation and nothing else. And he, being the one that wanted Kamen Rider Chronicle to be re-released, is like something that is weird, and I'm not sure. Here's the thing, like I am going through like pure like memories from watching Blade, and last time I've watched it was like 10 years ago, so I could be wrong, and I'm like fully in doubt if I'm correct or not, because I remember Tachibana being kind of a prick, but I don't remember him being that much of a prick. But also, in episode 4, he did mention something very interesting, and that is that all 3 other Blade Riders could be dead. Here's the thing, I don't know if he knows about Chalice and Blades' kind of pack of like, hey, let's not meet again, because if we meet, we would need to fight. I get that. Where's Liango? Like, did he die? And we just not going to talk about it? Like, the best suit out of like Blade, and we're not going to talk about it? I don't care. Liango is the best suit. I would fight people about it. I don't care. But yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting. Maybe like in this weird world, all of the Blade Riders died somehow, which still doesn't make any sense, because like at least Chalice or Blade should have at least stayed. I don't know, could be interesting moving forward, but it was really cool that he finally get his king form. Gosh, it's glorious. It's almost like a perfect one-to-one to his SIC figure, just like not super exaggerated and just an actual suit. Man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This is too good. Outsiders' first half is really interesting, feeling a lot smaller in scale, but at the same time feeling really big. The notion that the entire show is completely comprised by mainly villains or just anti-heroes is really interesting. And the idea that we don't really have a clear protagonist, because Zein's intentions are good, but his means are evil and cruel, while Arc is the embodiment of malice. But he weirdly cares enough to actually tell people about, Zein and his plan. Yeah, he's doing it because it's a defense mechanism, but we can clearly see they're not really trying to humanize him. But no, you can kind of say they're trying to humanize him mainly because there are points in the show that he's like, ah shit, I didn't expect that. And like Arc is the perfect like villain of like, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I've seen that before. Like that's like super interesting. And having corporations, not only Smart Brain, but also Foundation X wanting Zein gone is like super interesting. And having Foundation X being pretty much a factory of reviving bad guys, which kind of dumb, because if you really think about it, in exception to like Gold Drive and Odin, they try to revive Horobi and Brain, two characters that already did their babyface turn. So I don't get why they revived them. Like, I understand they were bad guys, but most of the time you should revive people that never actually turned good. But was fine because we finally get more Foundation X. How much they kind of make them look incompetent with the revival of Hirobi and Brain. And also, like, there is kind of like a small like bit of a joke with Bando and Hiromu Takahashi saying that, hey, you're not gold, and it's like very much playful laugh. But I don't know, I don't care. I'm so happy we're getting more Foundation X. I don't care. And it does feel like the show very much is starting to ramp up. Zein is now not only here, but he's able to take over Sakurai Yuto's body like Arcan. And you can clearly see he is not the best of guys. And we are not only having Koroto come back, George is going to be there. And that's going to be really interesting. And the show, it feels like the show next year is just going to kick it to high gear, and it's going to be one of the best things that Kamen Rider has, and kind of the equivalent to Subarai's like Ultra Galaxy fight, which I love. Overall, Outsiders is a genuine breath of fresh air that the franchise kind of needed. If you didn't watch any of the stuff that I talked about, you should jump on now. Or just wait until Outsider is fully done and just binge it all, because as I said in the intro of the video, it was weirdly coherent. All of the stuff that I talked about was filmed in like the past 3 years, with breaks in between. It just shouldn't be that coherent. So yeah, if you've watched Outsiders, what you think about it? Comment below, let me know. Thanks for Surfshark for sponsoring my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you already didn't. Thank you all. My Legacy of Ultraman Dyna video pretty much climbing my like top 10 most viewed videos in my channel's entire history. Thank you. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.